Alright, what is up, guys? You're probably thinking, well, no, you're not, because you can see the title of the video, but no, this is not a car talk in the normal sense of when the channel started talking about the workout before the workout. This is a car talk in the sense of, I'm going to take a rest day, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow. So I will say, I've been on the fence about it all day. I've been working my rear end off. Like, I'm still currently working. I'm still currently DoorDashing, Instacarting, and Spark driving for Walmart, trying to get a bill that I was behind on finished paid. Very close to having it paid off. So the decision had to be made of, instead of going to the gym, I'm just going to keep working. But I will say, Brandon messaged me earlier today. He was going to take the day off. He says back's still hurting him. It was going to be a back and by day. I'm kind of having a twinge of pain in my right lat and a hair of discomfort in my lower back. So my thought process is that we're just going to go ahead, take today off. No back and by, just take today off. Hit chest tomorrow, because I think my back needs a break. I don't think giving it one day is going to be enough. I won't give it a break, and we'll hit it next rotation. So we'll hit chest tomorrow. We won't hit tri, because what we'll do is on shoulders, we'll just make it a full arm day. Bicep, tricep, shoulders. So that's the plan right now, because obviously biceps still need to be hit, but I'm going to give my back a break. I think a rest day is needed. So, and I just have bills to pay. So today will be a rest day, so we'll just talk a little bit. So I hope you guys are fine with a yapathon. I know we haven't had one in a while. They really don't get views on the channel, but hey, you guys are going to get one. You get what you get. But today's going to be a rest day. So let's talk. If this is your first video, if for whatever reason this is your first video, or if maybe you've only watched like a few minutes of a video before and then have clicked off, if you don't know why the series on the channel is called The Journey to 160, because most of the cardio talks take place after the workouts. So if you're clicking off videos super fast, you probably don't even know why 130 some odd videos in, this is even called The Journey to 160. So if you find yourself watching this video this far, I'm gonna tell you why, so don't click off. Now, if you've watched the channel for a while, you know exactly why. So bear with me, or you can skip ahead. But the reason this is called The Journey to 160 is all the way back in 2017, I entered the gym for the first time, and I was 300 pounds. I lost weight, got all the way down to 180, and floated around and in the 180s for a while. Then, good old COVID happened. We all know how that went. Workplaces got shut down, curfews were put in place, gyms were closed, everything. So I didn't have a gym to go to anymore. I didn't have a job to go to for a good portion of the pandemic, at least when it started. My parents were bringing home literally only junk food. I didn't have money to go out and get my own groceries. And my family really wasn't big on the idea of any of us going out. So I couldn't go get anything for my diet. And I made my way back up to 250 pounds. After the pandemic, kind of slowed down, everything started opening back up. I was able to go back to work, blah, blah, blah. I lost weight, got back down to 200. So, in total, if you take all the weight I've lost 170 pounds. But just out of fairness, we'll say I've lost 100. sitting at 200, start at 300, right? The reason this is called the journey to 160 is that is my goal. My goal is to get down to 160. And why do I want to get there? Well, it's not just about wanting to reach a certain number or look a certain way, but I have intentions of taking part in a bodybuilding competition that typically takes place in June in Houston, Texas, called the Summer Shredding. It's called Summer Shredding. And they have a division called Transformation, where you can use photos from up to 3 years ago and your weight from up to 3 years before the competition. For your posing routine, you make a video of those old videos, old photos, showing it where you started and where you are now. I want to take part in the Summer Shredding Transformation Division part of the competition, and I want to come in at 160. Depending on how I look at 160, I might even want to come in at 150. But the reason that this entire thing has been called the Journey to 160 is because I want to get down to 160 for that competition. And this channel, this is your first time hearing me talk about this, was originally started simply as a way for me to document the journey for myself. So I could look back at the stuff and see how far I've made it, how my training intensity, any and all like slight differences in my face or my body or this or that. It started off as a way to document it and also have stuff to look back at. And since I was already filming it, I made the decision to just go ahead and post it on YouTube, edit it, and start a channel. And so that's where we are. So if that's your first time hearing me say it, there's kind of the Cliff Note version. I've had more detailed conversations about it. Now, another part of that is, I feel like, especially stomach-wise and face-wise, I haven't changed much during this journey to 160. So I will say, I get very discouraged just looking in the mirror. So if you guys are watching the channel and thinking that he's not making any progress, I think that all the time. I need to make a more conscious effort to start showing the scale on the channel, like when I do weigh in, because I weigh in once a week on Thursdays. But I just haven't. We are trending down. We've been losing around 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds a week, which is the trend that I want to see. And I have personally noticed, like when I go shirtless, differences in like my upper chest, my neck, my traps, my arms, and even some, but not much, added definition to my legs, especially in the calves. So that's just where the fat's been peeling off right now. Really hasn't been coming off my stomach. It has a little bit because I have noticed that after like a week or two, I do have to like retie my shorts a little tighter, and I like full and double knot them so they don't come untied in the washer and dryer. And typically, I can just get away with putting them back on. But here lately, I've had to start retying them, which is an issue I want to have. But I will say I have definitely noticed, like myself, just like editing the videos, like, man, you really don't look different, all that different. Like, I do think there are some noticeable different. You can go back to day, I want to say 100, where the thumbnail was a picture of me from the video that started it all, the very first video, and a picture of me from the video that was taking praise. And I think you can see like some lines in my neck. My neck looks a bit younger because the double chin has come up a little bit. And so I personally thought like, there is a noticeable difference there. Obviously, not a lot of difference in the face because I just don't think I've been losing fat from my face all that much. But I noticed like some difference in my arms because in both pictures I'm hitting a curl, stuff like that. So there has been like negligible differences, but it's not like I'm looking to drop 50 pounds out of nowhere. This has to be achievable. I can't be like starving myself to the point that I'm losing muscle and everything else, and but I also can't be eating so much that I'm basically doing a muscle recomp phase, So losing the weight very slowly, obviously 40 weeks or more, because I know it's less than a year away. There's 52 weeks in a year, or 54, 1 to 2. I'm pretty sure it's 52. But, so we're, at bare minimum, we're at 40 weeks from the competition. So it's like, working, a pound to 2 pounds a week is perfectly fine. So we're on pace. But I say this to say something I said in a previous video that I'm just going to reiterate here if you didn't see that one. I took pictures I looked back at it, October 20th. So exactly 3 months from then, January 20th, I will put those pictures in a video, and we will kind of go, and then you guys will get to see the difference that was made in that 3 months period. That I feel like sometimes gets lost in translation when you're seeing a video of me every day. Because even you look in the mirror, you see yourself in the mirror every day. You see yourself when you take your shirt off and look down. And every day you see yourself, when I'm editing these videos, I see myself every day. So sometimes I kind of get lost. And it's like, is there any noticeable differences happening? But when I looked back at the first video and the 100th, I was like, no, there's changes happening. The scale is going down, just not rapidly fast. And I think we're making good progress. If I don't think I'm making good progress to get to 160 by next June, then I will cut calories and up the cardio. But right now, I think we are at a good pace, and I don't want to pull any of those stops out until absolutely necessary, or I won't have anything to use right before the show to actually get to where I need to be. So, this video is more of a, if you haven't watched any of the car talks before, hopefully you stayed and this kind of informed you of what the channel is and why it's called, the series is called Journey to 160. And I get it. The kind of workouts every day isn't for everybody. Clearly there is an audience for it. Look at Sam Sulek, but I think also part of that is his personality. And then obviously his freak factor. He's this massive guy. He turned pro. He's doing the Arnold this year. He's doing both Arnolds this year in hopes to qualify for the Olympia. So, he was just some guy who worked out, but still had that freak factor. He's massive, super strong. Obviously he's on gear, I'm not. But also he has the genetics for that. I don't have these freak factor genetics. So I understand the channel's never going to pull in those kinds of numbers. But point being, there is an audience for this kind of content, even if I'm not the idea person to be the face of that kind of content. But if you've never really caught up with the channel or watched the car talks after the workouts, or a lot of people click off after a few minutes, and that's perfectly fine. If this is the first time you've made it this far into a video, and the first time actually listening to me talk about this, that's why it's called Journey to 160, and that's the plan. That's the full intentions. There's a show at the end of all this, and I do mean that. And that's all I have to say, because I'm still working. I'm still trying to get some orders done, and the longer I do this, the less time I can do that. So, rest day today, chest day tomorrow. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'm sorry that there was no workout today. I thought about it a lot today. I really did. And the more I thought about it, the more rest day made sense, especially just because what I got going on personally. I do feel a trend of discomfort in my lower back and my right lat. I don't want to pull anything. I don't want to get injured. But I also don't want to just leave you guys hanging. No video, no explanation of why there was no video. So, here you go. So, chest day tomorrow. A little bit different. No try, just chest. We'll have an arm day, and then legs, and then back into the normal rotation, hopefully. Hopefully mine and Brendan's back are feeling better by then. He also said he's been experiencing back pain. He didn't really elaborate on what he meant, but you know, it's his call. He thought if he worked out today, he'd get, it wouldn't be good. Feeling discomfort, didn't want to hit back today. I do not blame him. If I had been thinking about it myself, about how I was feeling, I probably would have told him, well, let's hit chest then, and we'll both skip back. But at the time, I wasn't certain if I was skipping back today or not. So that's on me. But I love you guys. I appreciate you. If you want to support me or the channel in any way, shape, or form, Harder Than Last Time Supplements, code JS15, save 15% off your order. There's merch in the link in the description. Instagram, TikTok, and the link in the description. Feel free to watch it. If you see the sorts on the channel and make that kind of content, that's also the kind of stuff I post on the Instagram and TikTok. I'm trying to be more active over there. Can't promise I will. This is kind of the main concern, is just doing the actual YouTube channel and actually focusing on the diet and the exercise. So that's all I have for you guys today. Sorry about the lack of workout. I do personally believe a rest day was ultimately needed. So love you guys. Appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow for what will hopefully be a glorious chest day after a much needed rest day. See you then.